It's November 21st, and this is Be Reasonable. Hello, and happy Saturday. Today on the podcast, we will discuss some of the most controversial topics, from free college to should police be mandated to wear body cameras. Joining us today is Grace and John.
Hey.
Hello.
So first, we start with the debate over free college. This has become quite a heavy topic as college tuition continuously goes up in price. Many people from the Democratic Party, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and many, many more, have said that America should have free college for everyone. This topic is a big one, considering college tuition has continuously gone up in prices. In 2019, there was a combined student loan debt of $1.41 trillion, and due to the high amount of debt, it takes an average of 21 years to pay off. But with the free college movement, there have also been people who say, where do you get the money? So what do you think, John? Should we have free universal college?
I think overall we should not have free universal college. The debt and the tuition would mostly be paid for by the government, and that would add to the U.S. government debt, which is already at $26 trillion, right? And according to free tuition college or whatever, it says that it would cost another $79 billion a year for the government to spend, and our spending is already way too much, and that would just cause more, people who've already gone to college, who've already gotten jobs to pay for younger people who are going to get who are going to get degrees that they might not necessarily need, and it wouldn't really help us economically. I don't think so. There's a lot of other jobs that we don't need colleges for, and what the society needs to do is they need to stop pushing this narrative that everyone needs to go to college in order to get a good job. There are a ton of other jobs where you don't need college. There's always the military. I'm kidding, but there's trash workers, and there's janitors, and there's a lot of blue collar jobs that you don't need to go to college for. There's oh God, what am I thinking of? I don't trade work job. I forgot what it's called, but you don't necessarily need to go to college, and I don't think we should teach our kids that you have to go to college because it's just a burden on them. And I also think that paying for college is an important part of life, and it teaches you how to be responsible with your money, and that's part of the transition between a child to an adult and getting a job. And so overall, I would argue against the government paying for college.
All right, Grace, do you agree with him?
Kind of, but okay, I'll say my opinion. I think that college shouldn't be free. I mean, I'm just not sure how to feel about that because I'm not super educated on it, but I don't think that it should be as expensive as it is, because over the past 50 years, the cost of college has gone up by thousands. Meanwhile, the minimum wage has stayed relatively the same. Mm-hmm. So it's very hard to pay for college. And I know you said that college isn't necessary, but we have millions in poverty, and many jobs require college. You say that, it is a good point that many jobs don't require college, but most of those jobs that don't require college are paid minimum wage, and that's just not enough to live on. It's not enough to. It's not a good living, and like you said, the amount of student debt. The U.S. has the most amount of student debt, so I'm not saying that college should be completely free, because I think it is you should pay for what you get. That's how it works. You're paying to be educated, but over the years, it's gotten so much higher than it used to be. Meanwhile, the minimum wage has stayed the same, so it's just getting unnecessarily expensive, and it's unlivable. People can't afford that if it takes 21 years to pay off. Mm-hmm. So that's
I agree with the aspect that it's becoming excessively. It's just increasingly more expensive, and I am against that. However, I don't know where we get the money to pay for that. And if we are paying that, then it's just better for the government, because then they're, getting the money that they asked for.
Yeah.
And they can just continuously up their prices without any, change. And if the government does regulate that, then all your education, all your classes are going to be regulated by bureaucrats. And that might not necessarily be good for what you want to do, the education that you want to, the money that not money anymore, but what you want to spend your time on.
See, but between
sorry.
like the 70s and now, the thing is, I'm not sure what if the minimum wage went down relatively with inflation, or if college costs went up higher.
Mm-hmm. I think overall, with inflation, the minimum wage has gone down. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think if you put the minimum wage up, then it's going to cause huge problems with small business owners. And because of that, you can't start new businesses, which would hurt the economy more than it would help it. And so, more money to the people may sound great. However, it's not good when, business owners are trying to find money to, pay their employees. And it might lead to layoffs, and it might lead to inflation.
Yeah.
But we can't have all these colleges asking for so much money, and that's why we can't have such a demand for the colleges. We need what was I going to say? We need more jobs that don't require a college education, because most of them do. I would say most of the
there are a lot of
higher paying
jobs.
Jobs.
There's a lot of jobs that don't need a college education, but most of those jobs don't pay very well. It's not something that you can live off of well.
Right.
And what was I going to say? If just say that the minimum wage has stayed at $7 to $8 to $9 over the past 50 years, what was I? But yeah, say it stays the same. But it's just, it needs to go up with the price of college. If that trend is true, college must just be going up and up and up every year. If it's going up that much, is there anything improving about it? Is it worth the amount of money that we're paying more and more every year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
there's just not. Yeah.
Most education that you get from school, you don't use in the for your job anyway. Nice thing about college is you get to specialize in what you want to do after college. So you only get to do the classes that you're looking forward to after. However, the money that you're spending for it, I don't think is worth at this point what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going for an extremely high paying job.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, there needs to be other ways around it. You can't just have and again, it comes back to the society. Every job, you need a college education for. We need more jobs without that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just need a bigger, job based, more companies without, that bachelor degree requirement or whatever.
Yeah.
And part of that is the government. The government asks for, which they can do. Most teachers have a master's degree, which is good. But but this just lays a path for jobs that require other degrees, and that just leads to schools getting more and more money because they can ask for it.
Yeah.
So going off of the tuition and how expensive it is, Harvard has said that all their course instruction will be done online, and in doing so, they have still said that they will keep the tuition at $50,000. So what do you guys think of that?
That's a little unfair. I mean, you're not getting the full experience of Harvard. You aren't getting to see the classrooms. Part of Harvard isn't just the education; it's the, knowing, personally the teachers, your classmates.
Yeah.
And learning, the law.
Yeah, you don't get to know your teachers and classmates as personally, and I feel like that's a pretty big part of education. Feeling working as a class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people don't go to college.
Just being in contact with the teacher is a huge part of school.
Yeah, it's a huge benefit because then you can ask them personal questions, and it's easier to learn from them. Personally than it is over the line, even if it is live. And what was I gonna say? And part of the reason why people go to college is to learn about like the dormitory aspect, to learn like how to like live. Because most people just live in their parents' house until they get kicked out to go to college, right? And so, now you're just home on your computer again, looking at Harvard, and you're still paying $50,000. I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah.
I think I think most colleges are, hungry for money, right? But I don't think that the government should, feed them in any way, shape, or form, because then other people have to pay for, it, and that's not fair to them.
Yeah.
And it's also not fair to like the young people who have actually like worked during the weekends or worked during the summers and have worked over after school, to get the money that they can use for college. It's not fair to them because now they've paid their fair share. They've gone to college. Now they're out of college, and now hopefully they've got a good job. And so they moved on to their life. They were disciplined. They were able to pay for college. However, now they are paying for another person's college through their tax dollars. And also, how would this increase their, how would this increase the federal, income tax bracket and other tax rates if, if there's more, spending to be done by the government? And overall, the government, the state government spend a huge amount of money. I'm not exactly sure what the money is for, the public schools and stuff. And those are pretty well funded. However, they aren't like, they're doing an all right job, but they could do better in some aspects. And we see in Sweden and other countries that like private schools are the better schools, and they're the ones who get better, scores and so forth. And we also see that public schools near private schools are better than the other public schools. And so, if we continuously feed the public school, for college, 4 more years of high school, then it won't be the same, type of, education that you'll be getting because it'd be through the government, through bureaucrats, which isn't the best thing that we could get. And so I would say that right now, for the best thing that we can do is just have more people try to get like a job that they don't need college for. Like they can go to trade school. They can go do a bunch of other stuff, work right out of high school. But if there's still a huge demand for college, then there's going to be like, then we're just going to continuously find this problem with the $1 trillion of debt and so forth. So I don't know exactly how we would fix that. I don't think it's fair that Harvard can still ask for $50,000 when you're not there at Harvard. You're sitting home at your computer.
And it's online, and there are even some colleges that have free online school.
Yeah.
Which is super beneficial because, now you don't have to pay, the tens of thousands of dollars for education. Now you're just going to get it for free online.
Mm-hmm.
But if the government did pay for this, because, hypothetically, if we're going to get free college, it's going to be the government, right? If the government did pay for this, would they also pay for the private schools? Like, I'm curious about those aspects and how exactly it would work. Because we're looking at least $79 billion every year in free tuition, which is more money for the older taxpayers. Does that include private school? I'm not exactly sure, but all the Ivy League schools are private, right? So if people really want to get into like a really good school, they have to pay with their own money, unless the government also subsidizes private schools. Like, well, that doesn't really, work. Like, there's a bunch of questions with, how this free college would actually, roll out in the end. And I just don't think it's a good idea. And I think that people should just continue to, pay the prices or, just become, get a job that they don't need college training for. And I think that would benefit America more than the government paying for it.
Yeah. I just think that college should be cheaper. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. John, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think college should be cheaper. The question is, how do we make it cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Because
do you think we should have the government regulate how the colleges, the tuition for colleges?
I'm seriously against government regulation. I don't think it really helps.
Grace, do you think so?
we might need a little bit of that, but
Do you think
government regulation on college prices?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because then it'd be like mostly run by the bureaucrats. The bureaucrats do this and do that. Like would say what you can and cannot have, and I think that that's not the best thing. Because all in all, it's the teachers who know the best about the colleges. It's the presidents or whatever that know the best about the colleges, on the campus. And so if we put that into the hands of bureaucrats, I don't think it would be a great idea. I don't think that they would regulate it well. However, if if this seriously becomes more and more of a problem, and we really need a fixed thing, we might have to look to government regulation, but we should try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can get rid of this.
Alright, so next, should people be able to carry semi-automatic guns? We'll be right back after the short break.